Hello and welcome back. I think it's time we had the talk. It's time we bring some honesty into this because there's something that's been bugging me and nobody wants to talk about it. First off, it's 3:33 in the morning. I'm normally the kind of guy who goes to bed between 9 and 10, gets up around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. But tonight, I'm struggling to sleep. And it's because of all the lies that people tell you about trucking. It's part of this deception that comes around. You see, everybody wants to talk about the big money and, the freedom of the road and all the bull crap like that. Here's another take on that. Because there is that. But what we're forgetting about the stress. Is today going to be the day that the DOT finds something I miss on my pre-trip? Is today going to be the day that a car pulls out in front of me and I can't do nothing about it? It's a reality that statistically you'll have, you put enough miles on, something's bound to happen. You can't be perfect every day. Now, you can be as perfect, you can do the best that you can. You can be as perfect as you can be. But to err is human. There's no way around the statistic on that. The other part that we don't talk about in trucking, and I've heard it said that trucking's like being in the mafia. Once you get in, you can't really get out. So before you get in, it might be worth thinking about, what about the financial instability if you get into ownership? Now, it's one thing if you drive for a company, they own the equipment, you just hop in and drive. If something goes wrong, well, not your problem. You either get a different unit, they find you a different load, whatever. But if you have actual ownership in it, let's say you're an owner-operator, you go out and if the load cancels in the morning, that was your wasted fuel for a load that you're now not going to pick up. If you've got ownership in this, you have the stress of, will my motor make it the predetermined lifetime that we hope for? Will the transmission make the miles it's supposed to make before giving problems? Let's say you've got an emission system. What's to stop that from randomly blocking itself up? Which, if you talk to any driver who is driving something with an emission system on it, a DPF system, they can tell you, if they're being honest, that those things go wrong all the time. So before you hop into a career like this, it's worth taking into account that there's more than just the positives. There's also some negatives. And I'd be lying if I didn't say, when I got into this, that, well, my hard work ethic will push me past where that person had problems. And to some degree that's true, and it's also false, because I pushed past where some people had problems, but I found a different set of problems along the way. And so it's worth noting that it doesn't really matter who you are, what truck you drive, what freight you haul. If you get into this, there's the pros that go along with it. There's the freedom of the road, there's the flexibility, there's some money to be made, but there's also going to be some sleepless nights where you toss and turn and you just worry about what tomorrow might bring, because you can't escape that nagging feeling when you're stressed out, when your anxiety level's pinned. You can't escape the feeling when you've been on a pretty good roll, but you know that your luck is not that good, and so you just worry because you know something has got to go wrong. You haven't had this good of a streak in a long time, so it's like, okay, when's the Jack in the Box gonna open? And it just feels wrong for a little while until either something happens or you forget about it, whatever the case may be. But I just felt it's time, and most people aren't gonna make it this far in this video anyway to note this, but think about the pros and the cons before you take a job in this career field, because you have a lot of great days and that's good, but there's also the stressful days. There's the days when you're out here in this truck stop parking lot and your wife, your kids, your house misses you, and there's a lonely, unsettling feeling that comes along with that. So when you're thinking about this career, all I'm asking of you to do is inform yourself, do your research, and don't do what I did and just say, well, I'll work through all these various problems and kind of glaze over that, because if I work hard enough I won't have those problems. Well, if I'd worked that hard at getting my pilot's license, I could be flying airplanes. If I would have worked that hard at getting my electrician's degree, I could be wiring your house or business. If I'd worked that hard in HVAC, well, I could be doing that. If it's worth putting the thought that everything you do is gonna have problems, and maybe there was something better to get into before trying this out. So that's just some thoughts I had. Since I'm not sleeping tonight anyway, well, I'm gonna get back to trying, but not looking too promising. And hope you all stay safe, make informed decisions, and we'll catch you in the next one. God bless.